2045 State Long Range Transportation Plan will be a multimodal effort that integrates all transportation modes, operators, and users. In working through this, each mode has its own processes and challenges. Let's hear from Elisha DeFrain as she discusses freight transportation.
Freight is defined as any good, product, or raw material carried by a commercial means of transportation, including highway, water, air, rail, and pipeline. The activities involved in the management of how and where freight moves are defined as logistics. A supply chain consists of all the manufacturers and suppliers who provide the parts that make up a product. The chain begins with unprocessed raw materials and ends with the final customer using the finished goods. The private sector plays a very significant role in freight transportation, controlling virtually all transportation services and shipment decisions. With few exceptions, private sector producers or consumers own the freight, which moves by private carriers in privately owned freight vehicles. The public sector has varying roles dependent upon the mode in providing the infrastructure used to move freight. An integrated transportation system for Michigan entails freight connections that are responsive to the needs of shippers and carriers. Unlike many areas of infrastructure, the performance of the freight system is highly dependent on operations of the private sector. Supporting the private sector is vital to ensure freight plays a productive role in the transportation system. The role of freight in this process will be critical as we work toward fully integrating the state freight plan into the long-range transportation plan. Freight movement involves multiple modes of transportation, as 65% travels by truck, while 21% travels by rail and 14% by water. Commercial vehicle miles traveled for 2017 was around 7.1 billion. Michigan's three largest industries, manufacturing, agriculture, and tourism, are highly dependent on good transportation systems. An efficient and dependable transportation system can lower cost, enhance competitiveness, and support just-in-time inventory systems for businesses. The growing need for freight services resulting from increased consumer demand, congestion, and the ability of transportation infrastructure to support such demand is a challenge. In light of existing market forces and other factors that will increase the cost of moving goods, freight planning is an important component of the statewide and metropolitan planning process. MDOT's approach to freight planning is intended to increase economic productivity and promote economic growth by recognizing freight needs in the long-range planning process.